Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to WyzGyz Entertainment. This is your host, Wyman. Today we are checking out Black Widow with Scarlett Johansson. Uh, Let me see. It reads Natasha Romanoff, aka Black Widow, confronts the darker parts of her ledger when a dangerous conspiracy with ties to her past arises. Pursued by a force that will stop at nothing to bring her down, Natasha must deal with her history as a spy and the broken relationships left in her wake long before she became an Avenger. Uh, yeah. All right. I know. All right. So I love the Black Widow character. I really like Scarlett Johansson in the role, but this movie came out way too late. I think MCU screwed up by not giving her her own trilogy. I think they could have done something along the lines of espionage, spy thriller kind of thing, um, to add yet another genre to the MCU cap, uh, feather to the MCU's cap. Um, she was introduced back, I believe, in Iron Man 2. So relatively early on, and she proved to be a good asset to the Avengers. So I really think it would have made sense to at least given her a couple movies during the first three phases. But instead, they ignored her and ignored her and ignored her, and eventually, after the fact, after she died, oh, spoiler alert, um, check out Infinity War and Endgame. And yeah, spoiler alert. They kill her off, and then they go and release a Black Widow video. What the frick? So it's more or less equivalent to like a prequel. And yeah, excuse me, long before she became an Avenger. Um, it's an okay movie. I do enjoy the adventure and I enjoy superhero movies. Um, I'd say, even though it caught a lot of flack, got a lot of bad reviews, that I'd still give it a barely or mild recommend. Uh, there's a portion of it where it does feel a little girl bossy, a little bit woke, but it's not too bad. But it's kind of weird to have both. Well, I don't know if it's so much weird, but maybe I'm just not used to seeing both the protagonist and the villain being female. I guess that's sort of how Wicked and Wizard of Oz and Snow White were. Uh, in any case, maybe in a superhero movie it just feels a little weird. And I like, as I mentioned, Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow. I think Florence Pugh does a pretty good job as Black Widow. Um, they introduce a couple other characters, and they also introduced Taskmaster. Now, from what I heard, I never followed the comic books of Black Widow. Um, so I don't know a lot of the deep lore, but there was a lot of talk about how Taskmaster was gender swapped, and it turned out to be a woman. I I don't know. Although they seem to have kept parts of the Taskmaster character intact, the fact that they gender swapped Taskmaster seemed like an unnecessary move. I don't know what their thinking or mentality was behind it. Uh, but overall, it's an entertaining movie. Um, I was just pausing to think about how in movies you'll watch flashbacks and things like that. And let's say there's a fight scene, an iconic fight scene that people really enjoy. But then you later on see one of the characters having a flashback to that time, and it replays that precise fight scene. And you can't help but wonder in the moment. It can sometimes even take you out of the moment, but you wonder how on earth do you remember it happening that way when this is a third party camera angle seeing your experience, not you firsthand experiencing it. It's just kind of weird. But it sort of makes sense here in that when Black Widow was clearing soldiers in a base, you'd expect to have security cameras. So there's probably security camera footage, and then that got leaked or the footage got stolen by spies and whatnot, and eventually got passed around, and that's how they got that footage, that coverage. But if you got a character that is having flashbacks to something that happened to them previously, I don't think it's right to just copy and paste that clip of video of them doing that thing, whatever it may be, because it just seems weird. Because how do you have a person's flashback be a camera operator's perspective? You know, if that makes sense. So I'd give it a mild recommend. Again, I sometimes cut movies slack because I like it for their entertainment value. I'm not necessarily saying it needed to be seen in movie theaters. Actually, you can't see it in theaters anymore anyway, because it's this was wasn't this 2021? Yeah, there it goes. It was released on DVD in 2021, so uh, that's the you'll only be able to see it that way or on digital. And I'm a big proponent of physical media, so I got the DVD. But yeah, will I rewatch it again? Yeah, probably. Excuse me. You know, it's just kind of fun, and I like the Black Widow character. Um, and she and Florence Pugh poke fun at the whole superhero landing thing. Uh, but when it comes to the Black Widow character, they really should have given her own movies, in my opinion. Anywho, thanks for joining me for this episode of Movie Nuggets. Hope to see you on the next one. Take it easy